everybody. Welcome back to another episode of TEDxMellenStreet Live. You guys, I am your host, Sacha Walton, and your event curator for TEDxMellenStreet. And our event is going to be on November the 18th in Hampton, Virginia at the Historic American Theater. We have a lot of speakers lined up for you guys, and we have some sponsors that we're highlighting through this podcast. And today we have Nathaniel X. Ross. He's one of our speakers, but we're not going to talk about the TED Talk, but we want to talk about who Nathaniel Ross is and kind of dig into his world a little bit, just so you know who he is. And first off, I want to say thank you to my sponsor, Connected Compass. Our founder, well, not our founder, but their founder is Tanya Fields. And they're on a mission to increase minority participation in STEM. And that's the cybersecurity and the technology. And we commend them for doing such an awesome work in that field and area. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Nathaniel Ross. Hey, Nathaniel, how are you today?
I am good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. I don't know, kind of tongue-tied today. I think I need to go back to sleep, wake back up and start all over again, but it's all good.
Just take a nap and start it over.
Yeah. After this interview, I will. And go and sleep for a little bit and come on back to the world. So, but before we get into everything, I want people to know who you are. So tell everyone, who is Nathaniel X. Ross?
That's an interesting question, because most people answer that question with the things that they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm an author, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a corporate executive, I'm a motivational speaker. But those are things that I do. That's not who I am. Who I am is a loving, compassionate person that's a confident leader, that operates out of integrity.
Awesome. And I love that answer, because you do want to tap into the person themselves, and what's on the inside of you portrays on the outside, and that's highly important. We are not our things. So thank you for that answer. But let's talk about, what you do as far as how you impact in your community and the world, and what makes you the person that you are, and that confident leader and, integrity, operating integrity.
I think that varies and it depends on what segment we look at. But in terms of the community, I have a nonprofit, Abundance Legacy,
Mhm.
and it's based around personal growth and development. And we spend a lot of time helping people to become the best version of themselves. And we provide a lot of uh, free training, some minimal cost training, but most of it is free training around life coaching and finances. Um, and then every day, how to navigate through life.
Awesome. Now, I feel like for people to really be operative in their purpose, and your purpose is, life skills, and, well, part of that purpose is that. What is your backstory that got you to the place of operating so greatly in your purpose right now?
Um, the struggles, I, you know, going back to when I was a kid and raised in the inner city of Baltimore. Um, I lived in the ghettos, and to navigate getting out of the ghettos, getting into college, and surviving the stats of being dead or in prison by 18 or 25, and then just the different challenges along the way in life. Um, it has helped me to, one, show that I have the wherewithal to navigate and get through it.
Mhm.
But as I look around and I see so many people at different stages in my life that have been left behind,
Mhm.
that couldn't figure it out. So that's kind of what has driven me to helping other people.
That's really good, and I commend you for that, because a lot of times we found people who, may have gone through the struggles, the challenges, and everything in life, and they've gotten to a point in life where they're saying, you know what, I'm on a different level, I'm on a higher level now than I was when I first started out, and they don't really go back for people. In so many ways, they help, but truly helping and grasping and saying, you know what, I'm going to take you by the hand just a little bit. And I'm going to show you that your life choices and the things that you do in your life can impact you immensely. But here's a way out. Here's
Yeah.
a way of overcoming. Here's a way that I can show you because it worked for me. And even though our experiences are different, but in a sense, the implications of those challenging moments kind of come out the same. It still impacts you negatively in some form of way, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. But I really commend you for being able to say, look, for my nonprofit, this is what we're doing to help people get out of that rut, to get unstuck, as long as they're doing the work.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely have to do the work, but you're there providing a service to help them with the tools to
Well,
get out of it.
in fairness to folks who do get out, just to balance the scales a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
the struggle is real to get out,
Yeah.
and you go through a lot of stuff. And when you reach back and you want to help people, that struggle is real too,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of people who are time wasters that say that they want to do it, and it has an emotional impact on you when you're pouring yourself into someone
Mm-hmm.
and they're wasting your time or taking for granted what you're doing for them. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people get discouraged and just say, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm just going to keep focusing on myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And so in if you're experiencing that with people, like, like, look, I'm here trying to help you. You're not trying to do this work. You're pulling on you. Like, what is your next step in that? Do you, say, hey, look, this is what you can have, go run with it? Do you pull yourself out of it in some form, or do you continuously still, be that lending ear or?
It took me a while to figure out the rules to build around that.
Mhm.
And I am there to support anybody that want help.
Mhm.
If I see that you don't want help, I'm gonna cut you loose.
Yeah.
It's like a lifeguard saving someone in the water. You go to help that person needs to relax and let the lifeguard help them take them to safety. And if they don't, they struggle. They're gonna pull the lifeguard down with them.
Hmm.
But it's taken me a while to get to the point where um, I'm I, I it's I just I will share and I will lead and I will share again and I will lead.
Hmm.
And if the person decides that it's not for them, I move on because there's 7 billion people on this planet.
Yeah.
And as I get older, I realize I have a limited amount of time. So I have to look at how I use my time.
Hmm.
And I rather use my time helping somebody that wants it as opposed to somebody that doesn't.
Yeah, yeah. And I would say this in addition to what you just said. Sometimes when people they don't act on, or I would say act swiftly on the help that you're providing, and they kind of mentally they're not there. Sometimes it's like they're willing, but they're mentally still challenged with everything. But at the same time, those seeds are still sown, so
Hmm.
whether they get it now with you or get it after you have parted, but at least you're still, sharing and dropping those seeds there for them to say, you know what, if you're not ready now, if you're going to eventually get there, at least it's there. So,
And I
your
think that,
capacity waters it.
yeah, I think that's for anyone. The right person has to deliver the message.
Yeah.
So I don't take it personal if I'm not the person to deliver the message.
Yeah.
The question is, as long as you get the message, or the
Yeah.
answer, as long as you get the message, right?
Exactly, exactly. So you're one of the TEDx speakers for TEDx Mellon Street. And out of all the speakers it was a phenomenal roundup of speakers that we had that we auditioned. And for me, I think I had to have disciplinary things in place for me because I would have had a weekend event and had everybody on stage. I'm one of those people be like, you get a spot, you get a spot. I was like, I want to pick everybody. But we had to narrow it down for sake of time and everything. And with our theme being empower of inclusion, how important is that theme in your everyday life and in society?
It's for me in my life, it's extremely important because I wouldn't be who I am and I wouldn't be where I am if it weren't for people including me in different processes.
Mhm.
What from education to community involvement to work. If people didn't pull me in and include me in those processes, I wouldn't be where I am today. So it's extremely important. And what's even more important is that I turn around and I reciprocate that to others.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really good, and we can see that when you're doing with your Abundance Legacy nonprofit, how you're reciprocating that to other people because you're including them in an opportunity to extend their life, extend things to make it better for their lives going forward. And so um, we can see that in action. And that's one of the things that we were challenging all the speakers who applied, like to think outside the box when it came down to inclusion. A lot of times, inclusion, a lot of people look at it, oh, this is equality, this is diversity, but, dealing with people, but it's so much more. And when we think about that value of something, for you to say, what, that's valuable, I want to include it, that next technology breakthrough or the next economic growth or, creative development or anything like that in what we see every day. There's inclusion all around us. And with your talk, without talking about your talk, how important is it to share your talk with everyone?
I think it's a basic message that everyone needs to hear
Mhm.
because we're all living this thing called life. Um, and inclusion is in every aspect of life. I think it's essential for everyone to hear it.
Mhm. That's wonderful. And before we close out, are there any final words that you would like to share with the people out there watching?
In general,
Yeah, just in general.
um, whatever stay open, keep open minded, be coachable, be willing to learn, know that it's uncomfortable in learning, and embrace it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the embracing part is the biggest part, being uncomfortable. I think there's a saying now, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And, a lot of people don't want to get into that uncomfortable spot because it unravels so much that they have been accustomed to. We don't want to see the real person behind everything else you've been showing, right? And so, but when you get to that beautiful place of vulnerability and being able to embrace it, you unfold or, so much more beauty that can come your way with you being a different person in life and operating that. So I really love that you said that. And once again, everybody, this is TEDx Mellon Street Live. We have our guest, Nathaniel X. Ross, with us today. He is one of the speakers on TEDx Mellon Street, and he's a life coach, but most importantly, he's a man of integrity and a confident leader, because that's who he is. And so we want to thank you so much for being here. And I want to thank my sponsor, Tanya Fields, founder of Connected Compass, and the amazing work that they're doing with minority participation in STEM. And thank you so much for being here, Nathaniel. I really do appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to hearing your talk on November the 18th at TEDx Mellon Street.
thank you for having me. It's
All
been a
right. Thank
pleasure.
you. All right, everybody. I'll be back for another episode. And thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.